Am I streaming now? How are both upcoming? Oh, wow. It's actually working. Imagine that. All right. Hopefully you guys can actually see me. This has been going on now for... Yes, it looks like you can. All right. I think I'm finally on. This has been ridiculous. I wanted to talk. I had somebody ask me about FGF21 today. I told them I wasn't really going to talk about it. And then somebody in the email sent me something about FGF21. So I figured we'd give a view to it, watch it for a little while. The thing is like, this is not like a permanent diet. You're not going to permanently sugar fast. You're just going to use it as a weight loss tool. Today, I got up and I decided I wasn't going to do any smoothies. So I tried to eat a couple of the mangoes that I have, and they were so disgusting to me that I actually just spit them out. So the fruit these days, the fruit these days, it just is not, it does not taste like it used to. So I wanted to get to, I'm going to just blabber for a few minutes, let some people get on here. So before I do this, but, today's weight was 273.2. I took, somebody blamed me for not, I did not walk on the scale, so I'll have to start remembering to do that. But the 272.8, there it is. I know it's backwards, but that was from the other day. Of course, it has my frickin' area on here. But I don't know. This has been kind of an experimentation that is driving me a little bit crazy. I realize it's Friday, so probably not a ton of people are going to get on here. Nor did I. I probably should start announcing these things so more people know about it. But let's watch this.
Watching in awe how sugar, a drug that has been proven to be more addictive than cocaine and...
Did we notice that none of this sugar that she was showing, where was that, was low fat? It was all high fat candy.
Really hijack the critical thinking abilities of the masses. It's quite remarkable to watch the hijacked addict's brain play out at such a grand scale.
Just another paid actor. Cocaine. Now we're comparing it to cocaine and all that kind of other stuff. Normal. I mean, this is ridiculous. I did kind of check. I don't know who she is, but I kind of checked out her Instagram, and it looks like she's one of these, carnivore
people. I am
people.
Dr. Sarah Zaldivar, and I quit my nutrition professor jobs at the University of Miami, the American College of Sports Medicine, and elsewhere so I could reach a wider audience online. Some influencers have started promoting the sugar diet as a way to quickly lose body fat. They call it the sugar diet or the sugar fast, and it's currently blowing up online. Any content that has to do with the sugar diet or the sugar fasting method is going viral. And as much as any addict's brain wishes that their drug of choice is...
I love how this is I love how this is happening, how people are just ostracizing this, yet they're pushing carnivore or keto, ignoring the fact of how many health implications come from that. And just like Latchkey Gen Xer today was talking about, like, these people don't go on anybody's website, like channels, and like warn them about how bad fast food is and everything like that. Anytime something is affecting their bottom line, though, then they got to come up with these attack videos, how it's addicting. Meat is just as addicting. So I don't know where the hell she's coming from.
Somehow good for them, myself
Again,
included.
that was
the
fat, majority fat with a little bit of sugar on it.
Remains that sugar is a drug. It has been proven to be far more addictive than cocaine and heroin, and even at higher concentration.
It's funny too that when she's like puking out these studies, how these all come out, and as sugar has declined in being used, obesity has risen. And another thing that she doesn't point out is how addictive meat is. People get extremely addicted to meat. They don't like to point any of this stuff out. They don't like to point out the fact that back when people were using table sugar, had table sugar on their tables and stuff like that, very few people were obese.
Of those harder drugs, we can see that sugar is even more addictive. The
You can
idea
see that
behind
she's
it is
reading
when
off
you
the script
quickly
too, because she can't think for herself.
reduce fat intake and you just eat a lot of pure sugar without accompanying fat, and you keep protein very, very limited.
Now she's trying to put you in the Randall cycle. Yeah, I mean, exactly. Breathing is addicting. People like to breathe.
Because you're only eating 3 to 4 ounces, very small amounts of lean protein for dinner, and the rest of the day is pure sugar. When you do that, it's similar to the Kempner diet or the rice diet. It ends up triggering FGF21, which is a protein or a peptide, which is a small protein secreted by the liver. And FGF21 increases fat burning, speeds up the metabolism, and leads to fast, rapid weight loss. When they inject FGF21 in rats, they lose weight very quickly. For those
Oh gosh, I mean, who would want that?
of you who are new to this, the meal plan is basically eating fruits, fruit juices, and a lot of people are adding in honey, pure cane sugar, sorbet ice cream because it doesn't have the fat from the dairy, and then they'll have a little bit of lean protein at night, very, very small amount with maybe some very low carb veggies.
I love how animals are not just being called protein. I mean, come on. Like, if you're going to eat animals, like, at least, like, tell us that you're eating animals.
So it's been shown that FGF21 stimulation can reverse insulin resistance and fatty liver disease. And so when you hear that, you get very excited. Wait a second, I can eat sugar and I don't have to employ any kind of discipline. And at the same time, I'm going to lose weight a lot, and I'm going to reverse my insulin resistance and drop my blood sugars and heal my fatty liver. Sign me up. But here's what they're not telling you. FGF21 is a stress hormone. It is
a stress hormone that heals your liver and loses weight. On top of the fact that when you're in a catabolic state, which is losing weight, that is a stress response. Like, there is stress with they are grasping at straws here. And then the sugar that they're showing is candy that has mostly fat in it.
Secreted when you are very stressed.
I feel like that is what people get addicted to, is fatty sugar. Sugar with fat added to it. That seems to have an extreme addiction factor to it, because when I think of, like, this has been sitting here. This is mango juice with a soda pop in it for a long time. It's not like I'm like, shaking just to get to it. But if it's like cookies or something like that sugary, fatty, that the body really craves because it knows how much calories are in that, and it's like, in starvation mode, that is what you would get addicted to. You don't see people snorting, freaking sugar. These people, I know I saw Latchkey getting kind of irritated by this shit today too, and I'm kind of just in an irritable mood today as it is. I guess it's PMS, but I don't know. Maybe it's the fact that it's 9,000% humidity, but it's just this shit. I'm just so tired of it.
And there are different types of stress. You can activate FGF21 in good ways using hormetic stressors. Those are good types of stress, like exercise, or you can get it from being on a micronutrient and nutrient poor diet, like the sugar diet or the sugar fast.
How is eating fruit micronutrient poor? How is it? Like, explain that one to me.
Exercise can trigger FGF21, and the more intense the exercise, the greater the increase in FGF.
Here we go. Eat less, eat nothing but carnivore, and exercise yourself to death. This is the message that she's putting. And she lost 30 pounds, congrats. But,
FGF21.
That's really
But what's
not that
far
much
more important to realize is that over a long period of time, exercise sensitizes your receptors to FGF21, which is really the ultimate thing that we're after. It's not so much about having constant elevations in FGF21, but instead we want to be sensitive to FGF21.
And another thing she's not pointing out is long-term, especially cardiovascular workout, releases a protein that is only found normally in corpses.
On the sugar diet, that's not going to happen. Whereas when you do it with exercise, you are going to restore FGF21 sensitivity. And so chronic exercisers and athletes, they will have low levels of FGF21, but high sensitivity to FGF21. And that's exactly what I think we should be looking for, because we know that.
How many people that watch my channel or do like diet have exercised? A lot. How many people are still fat? A lot.
That high chronic levels.
So the FGF21 isn't exactly working for them.
Of FGF21 is one of the most sensitive ways to detect high risk for stroke and heart disease. And so if you're constantly spiking FGF21 by eating sugar all day long, you're constantly elevating this atherogenic or heart disease promoting FGF21. Knowing what I know about food addiction and the magnitude of it and how much people are going to fight for their denial till the end, I predict that the sugar diet is going to be here for a very, very long time. Brace yourselves, because the food companies are going to get a whiff of this really, really quickly, and I cannot wait until they start slapping the labels on their sugary products to promote fast weight loss. I really think this is going to be the nail in the coffin for the American population and their health. Wow. Instead of addressing the root cause of obesity and our inability to stick to healthy diets, popularizing the sugar diet is only going to push people further down the food addiction severity scale. So if you had somebody who ranked a little bit on the food addiction symptom scale, and then they start doing those sugar fasts in an attempt to control their body weight, you're going to drive them further down the severity of the food addiction. So by the end of all of these experiments, whereby of course you're going to regain the weight later on, that's going to lead them now to be not only far more addicted to food and to sugars, but also having to deal with all of the health consequences of what they had done to their gut and to their dopamine system. What are the health consequences of folks who are doing these sugar diets and sugar fasts? As I mentioned, they're going to strengthen their food addiction severity. They're going to increase their risk of...
This woman is clearly reading off a script, and they're all saying the same thing. And they can deny it all they want. They're all doctors. And they're all following the same script. All of them.
Autoimmune diseases, skin conditions, whether it's acne or psoriasis or eczema, their gut microbiome is going to be destroyed. You're going to have an increase in candida and SIBO, which is a very hard and long journey to recover from. Gallstones, pancreatitis, Alzheimer's, dementia.
From eating sugar. Oh, now you're going to have dementia.
Cancer, heart attacks, strokes, nutrient deficiencies and muscle loss, hormonal imbalances, and the list goes on and on.
My testosterone doubled by adding sugar in my diet. So,
as sad as it is to say this, my hope is that this is probably going to be the rock bottom for people, because everybody's going to get so excited right now at the possibility of maintaining their addiction, and it's going to drive them into the rock bottom a lot faster, and maybe at that point they will finally wake up to the magnitude of sugar addiction and its consequences. The way that I managed to lose 35 pounds and maintain it after decades of struggling with sugar addiction, food addiction, binge eating, ever since I was 12 years of age, is because I handled the addiction component and I raised my baseline dopamine activity in my brain, and I healed the dopamine damage that comes from eating sugar for a long period of time. To learn more about my protocols, check out the fitness bundle, which includes the dopamine body that has the physiological...
This is all it is. It's creating fear on one thing and selling the solution. She may as well be the government. This is what people do. The government creates a fear, and then they got the solution. Look at 2020. That was the biggest. Well, actually, if you really go back to the early 1900s, that was even bigger. But I'm not going to watch the rest of this. I'm not selling her product for her. But it's just, this is what we're dealing with, is this. I mean, the attacks now are just, they're coming from every corner of the planet. Every corner of the planet. And, you know, I mean, I don't have a huge defense because I'm kind of stuck in the 270s right now, but I mean, I have tried everything under the sun. And, you know, the most annoying part about it is when I started, I wasn't even fat. I was looking to just get, you know, a little bit more muscle on me, and it has spiraled into this 20 years of torture. Let's look at some of these. Hey, dude, have you come across the mucusless diet healing system? Yeah, I've talked about it. The problem that we were running into, and I actually did a 2-hour conversation with somebody yesterday kind of about this. The problem is we're running into the same thing that I ran into this morning. When I went to eat those mangoes, they tasted so bad that I involuntarily spit them out into the garbage can. Like it was like it was so quick. They tasted so bad. And these are the same mangoes that I've been mixing in with my smoothies. And when they're in with the smoothies, they taste fine. And I'm not even adding sugar to my smoothies. So, oh no, there it went. It's just, oh my gosh. 1 second. Technical difficulty. You know, the whole thing is just a hot mess, just kind of like this camera situation. One of these days, I'll be a pro. Now it's way up there. Now you can't even see me. This is the kind of day I'm having a strange day. But yeah, so anyway, this has been my day. I wanted to just do fruit and just not do any smoothies, because the last time that I lost, I know I keep talking about all these times that I've lost weight and I'm stupid and I just keep adding these ridiculous foods back in, but I wasn't doing smoothies because I noticed that it caused a lot of discomfort. This is way too fucking far up there. Oh my gosh. Everybody's going to leave. Anyway, that's my, what are you doing now? Oh my gosh. I hate this tripod. All right. That's going to be good enough. You can see me good enough. I don't know. I'm like not in an irritated mood today, but like, I'm just kind of irritated by this whole thing. Like why some days I lose weight, the other days I don't. It seems like the more fresh fruit that I have in my diet, the I just don't lose weight. Like if there's fresh fruit in my diet in this sugar fasting, I don't lose weight. I don't know what the hell they're doing to this fruit these days. It just does not taste as good as it used to. Breathing is addicting. The emphasis should be on the function of the lymphatic system, allowing the body to eliminate waste at the cellular level. The clip of the older women with the chest pain, yeah. I'm addicted to food. I tried carnivore for a couple of months and kept cheating with vegetables. I'm such a degenerate. There are quite a few all sugar diets around, such as Walter Kempner, rice diet, and many others. All or nothing thinking. I don't like that thinking at all. And that's why I really don't like the rice diet all that much, despite the fact that those are my most popular videos by far. It's, you always have to be on the rice diet. There's no variation to that. It's not adherable to. Isn't it better to eat sugar for a few months to drop 50 pounds than to carry that excess weight around? Yeah, she does not mention the fact that carrying all that extra weight around, especially because women actually tend to store fat in better places, like the butt, thighs, and the chest. Men, when it's in the stomach, that is very, very unhealthy. And you can say it's a food addiction. Again, like, I mean, I've had the same amount of liquid in this thing this entire time that I've been on here for 20 minutes. Not like I'm, chugging it like crazy. I don't know where these addictions come from. They're like I said, like people get addicted to eating cookies. People don't get addicted to eating cubes of sugar. You don't have somebody hoarding, cubes of sugar over in the corner there, like, stabbing somebody, if they even come close to their sugar pile. I mean, it just doesn't happen. It's working for me very, very well. Good. The only issue may be insulin resistance. Have you seen the documentary Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead? Oh, I saw that a long time ago. But I mean, he rebounded hard. Insulin resistance, I mean, according to McDougall, goes away within a couple days. Have you ever had a period of just eating raw? The taste buds become less perverted after a while. Yes, I did it for 5 years. Like I've talked about this on my channel. I did raw vegan for 5 years. And no, it does not taste like it used to. I mean, I did raw vegan like 15 years ago, 14 years ago. Like I don't say this stuff just for the hell of it. Like I know what I'm talking about. I know the fruit does not taste as good as it used to. It doesn't ripen like it used to. It doesn't fill you up like it used to. There's something different. Have seen these like reels on different like TikTok and stuff like that where there's these watermelon from Walmart that are just like they're made out of plastic. The food is just something's wrong. I tried chickpeas today for the first time ever since years ago. Tasted so good. Do you eat any veggies? No, they were bloating me up, so I cut them. I was trying to do mostly fruit before and kept failing. The slow transition mentality is making it more manageable. Gut flora problems, maybe. I would try kombucha. No, kombucha, no. That stuff messes me up so bad. It's like, I will deal with this. It is the raw fruit. I just told you, like what is going on. Hey, there's my awesome neighbor. I just finished dinner and there's Ryan. Here I am. I like my organic pears and grapefruits. If they're good, yeah. I don't think any food addiction is actually an addiction. People's bodies are starving for proper nutrients from these Franken foods. How can you be addicted to something you need to live? Exactly. Exactly. And these same foods that when we used to eat them, or if you go to another country and eat these same foods, they don't make you fat. So many people go to like Europe or like down to Mexico and that whole area, and they start eating basically the same way they're eating here, and they lose weight. I mean, these foods are just so messed up, and now they're able to put the jabberoo in our food. No, it's like ridiculous. Fruit is such a crapshoot. It is the most expensive crapshoot that there is. I would rather play the stock market, which I've done before. I'd rather put the money on the stock market because those grapes that I had the other day were so terrible and they looked so good. I mean, I felt like they weren't even real food. They tasted awful. Personally, I've heard lots of high carb people trashing the fruit these days, but here in the UK, I have had no problem. Aldi. Again, Aldi's gotten caught with having plastic in their food, especially like the eggs and stuff like that. They've gotten caught with that. And I got a comment the other day from somebody who moved here from Africa, and they said they couldn't even stomach the fruit here because it was so terrible comparatively to Africa. They couldn't even eat it. You're not imagining things. I'm into gardening. What are you talking about? I mean, I've had this for a while. I've talked about this stuff. As store-bought tomatoes taste disgusting. You're not imagining things. Oh, okay. Never mind. Sorry. I'm like really irritated today. This humidity is just driving me nuts. I'm into gardening. Store-bought tomatoes taste. I can't even buy tomatoes anymore after I grow them myself. Average homegrown tomatoes, some varieties are extremely delicious. Like I told, I like a couple lives ago, man, I am really on it today. I grew tomatoes in soil that my father had like composted for like 20 years. And this stuff like literally on a brick scale was a 25. These grape, cherry tomatoes, they were insane. And now I'm like, when I taste these grapes from the tomatoes from the store, I can't even eat them. Live in Mexico in the border of Texas. Fruit sucks here. In Mexico or in Texas? The only thing that I really like out of Texas is that the grapefruits are usually really good. Oh my God, yes, I had to trash an entire pineapple the other day. I mean, it is just so. I mean, it was involuntarily being spit out from my mouth. Like it was poisonous. Those mangoes this morning. In Venezuela, where I'm from, fruit was fruit when I was young. Ryan, have you tried or considered doing hypnotherapy for weight loss? No, I don't trust that whole thing. I have a great fruit store here in my hood. Super sweet grapes, oranges. Yeah, I got to be selective, and it's pricey, but I'm saving because no more meat steaks, so spending is okay. Yeah, whenever I come up that way, maybe we can go there. There's plenty of them here too, especially if I went down like Bay Ridge or something like that with all the the Chinese stores. They have a lot of good fruit down there. Maybe I'll have to do that. It's just how much it is. How much traveling do you really want to do for food? But it is getting annoying. I mean, those things were $1.25 a piece, and I'm like spitting them. I mean, they were so gross. I don't even know what it tasted like. It was like involuntarily like, ugh, like coming out of me. Like, never doing that again. So I don't know what I'm going to do with the rest of them. I guess I'll, I don't know. Add sugar to them. Have you had a negative past experience with hypnotherapy? Can you share? I don't trust it. And I've had some things in my past happen that I don't think I really want to know about. I think that's about as far as I can get into it here. I've had 4 very, very strange situations. T-bone is $25 to $30 a pound minimum here in Canada. Oh, I mean, yeah, that means total socialist. When I was in Queens, the side of the street vendors were the best for fruit. Yeah, I've heard that. In the border in Mexico, Matamoros, I don't know how to say that. And in Venezuela, fruit is great here. In Mexico, it's full of additives. They overgrow it insanely. That's another problem. That's another problem. They overgrow the stuff too. Like mangoes probably were only, that big back in the day. And full of sugar. I mean, when I've grown this stuff, like I can't grow mangoes. I did actually grow a mango tree, but it died. This stuff is just pure sugar. It's just like you can't eat more than 1 or 2 of the things because they're just pure sugar. Canada vegetable police. Yeah, now he's hating on the sugar diet. It was only a matter of time before he did that. So anyway, I'm just doing straight up. Oh, and people were asking about like hard sugars. It just means like sugar, candy, honey, maple syrup, sugary drinks, stuff like that. That's the hard hitting sugar. Because you just can't predict these fruits anymore. And I have noticed that most of the people who are losing weight on the sugar fasting are not using fresh fruit at all. None of them are. So maybe that's another thing. Like I said, I'm going back to Cleveland in a couple of weeks here. And my sister's getting me a bunch of frozen fruit. So I'm gonna use that and see maybe if that causes a change. I'm not gonna just throw the rest of these out. I'll have to put sugar on them, even though I was vomiting them out earlier. Not the ones that I threw out, though. So anyway, people asked me to talk about FGF21. I think it's a moot point, honestly. Maybe it's not. I mean, it's just no different than people saying that, sugar feeds cancer. Of course it does. It feeds every cell in the body. So, they're missing a lot of things there. Grew up in the islands, and fruit in the U.S. is not sweet. You've got to eat more up here. Yeah. And then the problem with that is because you've got to eat more, then you start getting really bloated from all that fiber. It's just like a kind of a lose-lose situation all the way around. Have you ever experienced rebound hypoglycemia from intaking the sugar? I was seeing stars after 100 grams of sugar and water. I have not. I have not at all. I've heard a couple people talking about that, but I have not gone through that. I totally understand you. The only thing that makes me lose weight is starving on tuna and eggs. I'm not doing that. Canned peaches and pineapples are pretty consistent. Yes. The problem I run into is I've got a slight allergy to pineapples, so I do stay away from them as much as possible. But peaches, yeah, for the most part. For the most part. But I think it's more because they're usually stored in, like high, heavy or extra heavy syrup. I think it's more why they're consistent than anything. Do you believe in evolution? Oh gosh, this guy. I'm not even answering your questions today. Add blueberries to the water. What water? What are we talking about? I don't know what water you're talking about. Add blueberries to the water. I don't know. I did think about adding B1 into my diet because I know it aids in digestion of sugar from what I've read anyway. I do actually have B1 in the kitchen. Thought about adding that in to the diet. We'll see. It's kind of like, I know I'm not these people, but when I'm watching like, Latchkey Gen Xer, and the weight's just falling off, I'm triggered because you didn't own anything. You're annoying. That's the problem. Like, are you a vegan? For the most part, the sugar water for the guy that's seeing stars. Did you try adding store-bought sorbet or those fancy Italian ice creams? I have not, actually. And I keep hearing people talk about the sorbet and other things. I got to get some of that stuff to add it to the diet. I'm sure they sell it up the street here. Thanks, Skinny on Carbs. Love the sorbet Italian ices. Yeah, I'm going to have to try that, actually. It's hot enough. Yeah. Might be a good idea. I haven't had those in forever. Forever. I'm assuming you can get them just about anywhere. But yeah. Anyway, so that's what the video was about, and that's pretty much all I have for tonight. Okay. So any more questions or comments? Because I think I might get out of here pretty soon. I thought you were Italian, Chris. Fabulous. You have a bit in you. That's why he likes Italian eyes. I take B1 with an additional B complex and magnesium. It helped me to be able to tolerate way more carbs. Yeah, that might be happening with me. Kemp's raspberry sherbet is the best. All right, I'll have to look for some of this stuff. Yeah, some of those imported sorbets are really good and filling. Veganism is an ethical philosophy. Do you eat any animal products currently? Not intentionally. I did on accident the other day with those gum nerd cluster things. I didn't realize it had gelatin in it. Because most of the candies I have don't have gelatin in it. Actually, that's the only candy I've had that had gelatin in it. So I didn't even think to look. Has your burnout with video making and documenting your dietary experiment led up? I feel a little burned out with it today. Do you want to debate the topics we discussed live somewhere over video? For what reason? You're going to say that you're right, and I'm going to say that I'm right. What's the point? Like, debates usually go nowhere. I mean, I don't see the point of that. But I will have to try those sorbets. I just don't feel like leaving the house today. Of course, I didn't leave yesterday either. What do you think is your ideal weight? What was the weight you think you would really be content on? When I was 225, I didn't want to get any lighter than that. Oh, gosh, my nose. I didn't want to get any lighter than that. Somewhere in the low 200s is where I really need to be. I just can't. I would not want to be like super, super thin. No worries. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people have been asking me about this lately. Man, I really am out of it today. That mango thing really threw me off today. And having the real wet fruit that has no sugar in it whatsoever has really been messing. Like, I don't think I've had hardly any calories in the last couple of days because of it. So I think I'm hitting like a wall of energy here, or lack of energy. It's driving me a bit crazy. But then as soon as I take like a sip of this, like one sip and I'm done, I got to get this figured out, because this fruit that I've been buying, maybe frozen fruit, from what I've heard, frozen fruit is picked ripe and then cut up and frozen. That's what they used to do, at least. I don't know if that's still the case, but if it is the case, that's probably why people have been having better results with the frozen stuff. Because the fresh stuff is just, oh my gosh. I mean, the watermelon did taste good, but those mangoes and those grapes were awful. Who are your top 3 influencers on diet and nutrition? Nobody so far. I mean, nobody that I've listened to has helped me, other than maybe Arnold, if you want to talk about him. But he's really not an influencer. He just does his thing. Have you noticed a difference in white and brown rice as far as bloating? Yeah, brown rice definitely bloats me more, but it goes through faster. White rice doesn't bloat me, but it goes through slower. This weather sucks in New York City, but I'm still taking my long walk tonight. I probably will go for a walk tonight. I probably will. I actually just before this live got on, got off my Cellerciser, so I try not to do a long session on there and a long walk, because it does seem to put me in a state where it's just not like my body doesn't recover from it. But yeah, we'll see. I might go for a walk tonight. We'll see. Harley Durian Rider, as far as influencer. I mean, honestly, if I talk about his methods, they haven't helped me. So I don't know if I would call him. I mean, I enjoyed interviewing him, but as far as his method, it just didn't work for me. And people want to say that I did a bunch of yo-yo stuff. I was just, I mean, I didn't change my macronutrients. I would just change what I was eating. And it just never worked correctly. And a lot of people had that. But it seems like once I get to about 250, that's when I can pretty much widen up the menu a lot. It's just in the higher 200s is where I really get stuck, and it sucks. I tried to reach out to Cole today too, but that just was not working out. So I might hopefully I'll get a hold of him at some point. Talk to him about that, or this whole thing. Because I am kind of at a standstill. I don't 100% know what to eat. Like, I don't know what to eat at all. Because the fruit has been tasting like shit. And there has been a few mangoes that were really good. Really good. But the ones today were just really bad. And that's the crapshoot I guess you take. Whereas, like, if you buy like a smoothie from the store, chances are the calories in it are exactly what's on the label. How disciplined are you in other areas of life? Is it just diet that you struggle with? As far as being disciplined, what are you talking about? Like, I've been super disciplined. I don't cheat on anything. I don't crave food at all. I mean, like I've said, this has been here for I've been on this for 38 minutes. I didn't drink it. I don't crave any food. That's the issue. Like, I don't even like eating. If I didn't have to eat, I wouldn't do it. I don't see the point. Like, I hate it. When I read the Bible and Jesus is talking about, like, you know, the food that I give you, you won't have to eat anymore. I'm like, yeah, sign me up for that. Like, so I don't have to eat anymore. And if I didn't have to sleep, I wouldn't do it either. I just can't stand doing either one. So it's not a matter of discipline. I think the only discipline I really need is to actually make myself eat, which there's days that I don't, always do. But I have been on the sugar diet. As far as being disciplined, yeah, I've been disciplined in my life. I mean, frozen fruits are the way to go, bro. Have you ever had a B12 test? Yeah, it was normal. My hemoglobin is way too high for me to take extra B12. My hemoglobin's like an 18.2. And once it hits a 20, you're at a very likelihood of getting a stroke. And B12 would just make that worse for me. Try frozen fruit smoothies with a quarter cup sugar in them. Eat them when hungry. I have been. Did I just freeze up? This fucking camera. I think my camera just died. Hold on. It's so hot that my camera is dying. There it goes. Yeah, I know. My camera's getting so hot because of this weather that it's dying. I'm gonna have to figure out how to get a fan over here to air this camera out. It was doing that when I did that interview yesterday. It kept dying on me. Anyway, I probably should just kill this live stream before it goes again. But yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna have to utilize, after this mangoes are finally gone, I'm gonna have to utilize frozen fruit way more. It seems like that's the way to go. Everybody's been using the frozen fruit, and it's been much more effective than the fresh stuff. I think the frozen stuff is probably more predictable than the fresh is. I don't know. It's possible. I am irritated today. This is the first day that I've done these that I'm not in a jolly mood. Do you prefer the Cleveland weather in the summer? Oh, no. Man, does it get humid there. Holy shit, does it get humid there. Most days in the summer in Cleveland are like 93 to 97% humidity. Ugh. I mean, it's literally a beach town. The top of Ohio is 250 some miles of lake, like beach. I mean, it is so humid there. I had a friend of mine, because Philly's even more humid than New York is. I had a friend of mine visit me from Philly when I was still living in Cleveland, and he couldn't handle it. The humidity there is just like, it'll make you want to do nothing. I mean, it's just, you don't want to do anything. It's just so humid. It's even humid during the winter there. I've actually never, to my remembrance, never been in a dry climate. I've always been in humid climates. So I don't even know what it's like. Yeah, the live stream's working again. Yeah, unfortunately, this camera just keeps overheating because it's behind this monitor, and then it creates heat too. So it's like creating this heat vortex back there, and it's overheating. I need to just get a regular webcam. It'd probably be easier. But I think that's all I have. This is just an experiment on my end. I'm a firm believer in the idea that if you live like an athlete, eventually the body will revert to form. Easier said than done. I have. That's the most annoying part. I have. It raises my cortisol so high that I start getting water retention from it, and the digestion gets messed up. I have. I remember I was at the osteopathic manipulator years ago, 4 years ago, and as he's like doing these manipulation things, he's like, dude, if your ankle situation was different, like, and it was like functional, you'd be a household name. He's like, you have like musculature, like I don't even believe. I mean, it's crazy how much musculature I have on this frame of mine, but it also wants to hold on to everything, like just does not like letting anything go. What is your favorite hard-hitting sugar? Those gum cluster nerd things. Oh man, were those things good. Focus on reducing RHR and increasing RHV. Are you aware of the works of Sally? I don't even know that name. Packluck. She wrote a book called Could It Be B12? I would recommend everyone read it. B12 is perhaps the most commonly misdiagnosed deficiency. I mean, mine was a 500 nanograms per deciliter or whatever that the thing is. I mean, I know they like you to have 1,000 in Japan, but like I said, that could be my death warrant, my deathbed. My hemoglobin is too high. I can't supplement with B12, it would just make it thicker than it already is. That's why I'm good at endurance stuff. It's because my hemoglobin is so high. I have the hemoglobin of somebody who's doping. So I can't add any more B12 to the, on top of the fact that when I'm having potatoes and stuff like that, I don't wash the dirt off the potatoes. So that's probably where I get the B12 from. Especially if I get them from a farmer's market. I just let the kind of the dirt just, boil them out. And then, the dirt, comes out when I boil it. Muscular as well and gain weight every time I work out. Just trying to walk a lot now instead. It's what I have to do. And I'll get there maybe eventually. Like I said many times now, if it's not somewhere by the end of this year, I'm just cutting this channel because it's just a waste of my time and everybody else's. Weight made your hemoglobin high. Nobody knows. My sister has high hemoglobin. I'm sure my dad does. I don't know about my mother. B12 levels don't. High serum B12 levels don't necessarily what. Again, I can't use it. Like, it's not a good idea for me. Indicate lack of deficiency. Even if it is deficient, using as the same reason that they won't put me on testosterone, because that also could increase my hemoglobin. It's just too thick. You should see them trying to get blood out of me. It's ridiculous. Even if I'm pissing clear, they still can't get blood out of me. It's not worth the risk for me. I've tried supplementing with it, but I didn't notice anything. I know people talk about getting the shots, but here in America, you can't get the shot without a prescription. They don't like giving you a prescription for it. High hemoglobin implies that your oxygen intake is low. How to improve? No, actually, high hemoglobin means you have more red blood cells. And my endurance is insane. Maybe ask Harley Ryder about your HB levels. I told him about it. They've always been this way. I don't know what, most people would love to have levels this high. But it's just a weird thing that I know my sister has it because she's gotten tested. And I would be pretty surprised if my father didn't have it, because that guy can run all day long, work all day long. Have you tried donating blood to get hemoglobin? No, I think that's satanic. I won't do it. Nope. I don't know what they do with that blood, and I don't trust the Red Cross at all. Evil empire. So, yeah, no. And I don't know if that would do anything anyway. Because nobody can actually figure out why my body does it. Or my sister's body does it. But I'm pretty sure it comes from my father. Because my father, that dude, he can work 12 hours at work, come home, drink a thing of water, and then go and garden for like the rest of the night. It's crazy. I'm not wrong. High hemoglobin is common in people with a history of smoking. Okay. It's also common in people who dope. It's probably the body trying to, I don't know. I don't know what that's to. Anyways, this is not really on the sugar diet, and I got to figure out what to eat today. Have you published your blood results online? If so, how recently? I did a while ago. That was a while ago. A couple years ago. Have you looked into, I don't know why it matters though. Like, people act like I'm lying. Why would I lie about this shit? Like, I don't want this. I don't want any of this. I never asked to be, this weight. Have you looked into Lagola's iodine to cure low body temperature? I have added iodine in. It never really seemed to do anything. Never seemed to do anything. Anyway, I think I'm going to call it. It's long enough for me. Any further comments, questions? No. All right. I'm gonna get out of here. I'll probably do another one next week. I'm definitely not gonna do these things daily. Like I don't even know if Cole's doing them daily anymore. I haven't seen a video of his for a while. But that's it. That's what I found today. That's what's going on. And I'm 273.2. I don't think I took a weight of that today. Or a picture of that one today. But I did take the 272.8 the other day. So that's it. Anyway, I'll talk to you in the next one. Peace, and see you in the next one.